So again, as I said, like we had a grant, so it's violin 2. So I'm going to introduce violin 1 first, and then propose and then put some more like specific aims and our plan for the audience, right, to discuss and hopefully get some of your feedback. Let's see. Okay, so so basically, the violin, it's more like a vaccine, right? Like information system. Somehow we got the name. So at that time, when we designed, you look at around, so you found many vaccine-related databases, but they are more like a commercial, right? Or the government one for the patients. So you don't have one for researchers. So at that time we say, oh yeah, we should develop one. So yeah, we initiated the so-called violin. And then the next year, actually there was like Barry Smith, right? Now our legendary figure. Yeah, he was developing ontologies. So he invited me. He and actually also Lindsay Covell. So they got a funding like infectious disease ontology development. So it's in Cold Spring Harbor, the New York Cold Spring Harbor Island. So they invited me to go there, to like introduce, to participate in the infectious disease ontology, the IDO. So because I think it's probably because of my postdoc background, so they knew me, they invited me. I didn't know them. So I went there. In the end of more like 3 days, I say, oh, my lab is developing the vaccine database, right? And I think we should have a vaccine ontology. And they all agree. So, oh yeah, you should do one. So then yeah, we came back and started to further develop violin and then develop vaccine ontology. Then we applied for grants. After 2 trials, I think we got it, right? So this is R1. So we got R1, we further develop violin. So the basic idea is to basically collect vaccines data, mainly from literature. The vaccine components are going to give more information in the vaccine mechanisms. And then we can also develop tools, right, to support like a vaccine design or vaccine query or some other analysis. So after many years, we have some small grants in middle, but the major one is, as I said, it's a violin 2, vaccine information and the ontology linked knowledge base. That's the U24 I was talking about. And we have 3 MPIs. And then, yeah, I'm the contact PI. And we have Dr. Chi Tao from Texas. And together with Xihua's help as a co-I. And then we have John Brook there. And we have Anna Maria. And yeah, we hope to get our Dr. Zhenghua Yang involved in the activity as well. Okay, so the violin, yes, this interface. If I have time, or I can do it, I can possibly, I don't know, I can maybe just go there, maybe it's easier. Can you see my, oh, you can see it, right? So I can possibly quickly go through, or Zoom cannot see it, or maybe I should not do it then. Can Zoom see this one then? Okay, so I'm not going to do a live demo then. So basically, yeah, this is a violin, right? Violinet.org, the first page. So we have a kind of a navigation bar here. So we can kind of differentiate our work into more like components. Components can be like antigens or adjuvant or kind of recombinant vaccine vectors or like yeah, DNA vaccine plasmids and many others. And then we have a COVID-19 vaccine knowledge base just published is this year, early this year? Yeah, early this year. And then we have our vaccine immune factors database. So it's more like a host side, right? And then we have vaccine safety, like Yijia just actually introduced briefly, and the vaccine animal response and the vaccine mechanism. And we have vaccine ontology and also vaccine ontology-based sign miner. So it's Jiang Guoga's work. And many other things, like a vaccine design is the machine learning part. So we did very well. It's actually Edison's work. Well, Edison's later, yeah, like before Edison came, we had one version, and after Edison came, we had a new version and also a vaccine design, machine learning part. So we again in here we have a we have Beyond here. Hi Beyond. So then we have the thousands of vaccines, over 4,000 vaccines for 216 pathogens or non-pathogen diseases like cancer or autoimmune disease. And we have collected about 1,800 pathogen genes and about 2,400 host genes. So they're more like immune factors. And we have more like manually annotated over 4,000 peer-reviewed publications over more than like 15 years. So, and actually we have a lot of undergraduate students, like Fatima, you know, we have UFN is pretty good. They have more like the Europe, the undergraduate research program, opportunity program. So we can offer to use the program to hire a lot of students, help us. Okay, let's see. Then this is a basic kind of component. We have many components, right? This is how the different components are linked together. So we have vaccines, and we also have different like licensed vaccines, like human licensed vaccines or veterinary animal licensed vaccines. And then we have different types of vaccines, like DNA vaccine or other vaccine. Or if you look for the components, you can see vaccine adjuvant or recombinant vaccine vectors, or many others. So that's more like a vaccine formulation part. And then you can also think of the vaccine type, right? So it can be live attenuated or like a messenger RNA vaccine. Now it's a new one. It's new vaccine type. And and others like a protein vaccine, subunit vaccines, right? So you can develop tools to predict vaccines. And you can also look for the host responses. So it's a lot of things going on there. It's just a very brief kind of scheme, right? But you can have more information there actually. And then I want to briefly introduce the vaccine ontology. So it's a community-based ontology. Again, as I mentioned, it was started very early, like with my proposal to the IDO meeting in Cold Spring Harbor, 2007. So that's the meeting actually I remember for long, I think probably forever. So it's a wonderful meeting, but it initiated my career as more like an ontologist. I remember like Barry Smith told me, oh, if you are an ontologist, you can do this, do that. So at that time I was like, oh, ontologist as a career. So it's like, it's very kind of dramatic to me. But now, like ontology is a major part of our lab work, But anyway, I think it's great. And then, like vaccine ontology is a part of Oval Foundry. So we use, you probably have heard a lot about the Oval Foundry, right? So the purpose of Oval Foundry mainly is like, okay, instead of have individual islands or silos, we should work together. We should reduce the duplications, right? So you don't say, oh, there is like a vaccine, you have 10 vaccine names from 10 IDs from 10 ontologies, right? It's better you have only one ID and everyone use it, just import from the ontology. We have many people. We don't have time to list all of them, but I think, Beyond just joined. So Beyond is one of us developing the original version of vaccine ontology. And then it has been now used actually by many kind of official sites, like including, for example, the Human Immunology Project Consortium, and the import project. By import project, they basically use vaccine ontologies to code the vaccines. If they don't find the vaccine ID, they usually email me. They say, hey, Oliver, can you include the vaccine into the ontology, right? Then they can have an ID and they can put there. Another recent one is more like a vaccine adjuvant compendium, VAC. Dr. Wolfgang. So he often contact me, say, hey, Oliver, we need your vaccine ontology ID. So he actually asked me a few days ago. I've been quite busy. I told him I will be doing it very soon. So he gave me a list, right? So a lot of people actually are using vaccine ontology as a way to standardize their data. We feel it's honor, it's a good thing for us. And then the protective engines. So yeah, basically, this one is more like you do machine learning, right? You need gold standard, you need training data. Otherwise, how can you do it, right? So this is the source. This is possibly the most authentic source now. So when people do machine learning, they want to compare different algorithms, different methods. They will say, oh, we are using polygen data. So this is actually a main argument that we ask the NIH. We say, people are using it. However, it's not enough, right? Because without human, without the money, without the fund, it's very hard to kind of keep up the pace of getting the project like quickly updated to the speed of the research. And also people like machine learning, if you don't have it good, the machine learning program may not be that good, right? And so if there's another pandemic, how can we keep up and fighting, right? So it's a main argument that we are doing. So before we are also mainly using machine learning, mainly using manual annotation, like looking for parameters for peer-reviewed articles. So in our grant, we propose to use NLP. So you can see we have actually more than one like expert like Yongqun. It's more like working on the gene level, gene interaction level, Simon Miner, and the Dr. Hua and the Chui Tao. They have been working on more like a clinical side machine learning. But again, we want to emphasize how important machine learning is, right? Especially in ontology field. It's very critical for us. And then, I will just briefly, we have the vaccine design program. The program integrates a lot of things. It's not like machine learning, it's not like ontology per se. So, but it's a lot of components. It's more like computational methods that Edison has actually used a lot and further developed. And then Edison further developed the so-called the vaccine ML. So it's more like a machine learning. So he out of several like a random forest like regression, and eventually he finds the best one would be extreme gradient boosting like XGB. So this is the best method we are using. So we have a website so people can use. But now we also kind of found some people that are using CNN, the convolutional neural network. So we are also trying to catch up. Initially, we thought that maybe it's not enough data, but it seems like people are doing it, so we want to do it as well. But again, this field actually is quite active, so it's a very good thing, right? Considering COVID, and hopefully we will be safe later. But you never know; you may have some other pandemic in few years, in 10 years. So the method that we have developed is quite good, I think. So the vaccine ML is our vaccine machine learning method, right? And the vaccine itself is more like a first generation. So it has a very good precision, but it has some sacrifice of the recall. But the argument at that time is like, out of maybe hundreds, you really don't care. You just care the few, right? You want to make sure the precision is more important than recall. But of course, now recall is also important. So the VIOLIN project has decent, I would say, has decent statistical record. So it's for sure it's increasing, over the pandemic one. So I think more people are paying attention to vaccine field. So we think it's a good thing. Of course, we want to do much more and do better. So and then finally, I come to the U24 grant. It's a 5-year grant, just founded starting from last month. So we have 4 aims. So first aim is implement a pipeline for automatic knowledge harvesting, standardization, and integration using advanced informatics technologies. Of course, we have a whole series of methods there, and we put them into pipeline. yeah, I don't have time to provide. I think later we have Tree and Xinhua and Jiang Guo to make you more detail. The second one is more like the knowledge side, right? So enhance the vaccine, violin vaccine knowledge base and the management. And we will focus on 3 specific knowledge dimensions. So one is the vaccine development, one is protective immune responses, like more like a whole side. One is vaccine safety. So basically it's pathogen side, whole side, and then vaccine safety. Whole side means it's good response, right? And then it's bad or it's adverse response. So it's more like a vaccine safety. So the vaccine development can be vaccine formulation, right? And you can get more data. And also the data has to be somehow annotated or use ontology, right? Standardized in a way that the machine learning program can use more like directly effectively. So a lot of opportunity can be done in that area. And then M3 is more like front end, right? To provide Violin 2.0 knowledge viewer query and use case showcases. We want to develop some use cases. And that is why we are actually very interested in the TB, right? Tuberculosis use case. So yeah, we didn't touch too much about the use case in our application. I think we probably mentioned COVID-19 a lot, but I think TB definitely is one. We like to focus, and possibly in the future, we don't know yet, but we have Zhenghua here, our another panelist here. So she will introduce the tuberculosis and the current status and the future problem. And then M4 is outreach and community engagement. I would consider today, right? We have all of you here is part of outreach and community engagement. We are happy to have this opportunity to initiate this work. Okay, how many minutes I still have? What's this? I already done? Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, so this is more like our organization, and this is Violin resources. So we have, again, more like a data part and the methods part and the knowledge part, and then the front end part. And then this is, again, it's more like an ontology, right? So, but then you can actually put the pieces all together. So they are in an integrated way. So the discussion material, this discussion is more like for our more like discussion material after each of our panelists talking. Okay, I think I'm done here. Yeah. Sorry, take some extra time. Yeah. Should we go, or maybe we can talk after? Should we ask questions, or we can go
maybe that we can discuss that question later. The panel discussion.
Okay, yeah. Okay, it's yours.